it's Lindsay, welcome back to The Wandering Reader. Today I'm going to be doing the intimidating TBR tag. Wasn't tagged by anybody to do this, but it's a video that I've seen around a lot on BookTube, and I've always enjoyed listening to people's answers, and I thought it was a fun video to do, so I'm going to do it today. So there are 10 questions, so let's jump in. Question number 1 is, what book have you been unable to finish? And for that one I'm going to go with The Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien. I talked about one of my reading goals this year being to reread The Hobbit and the first 2 books in this series and then finally get around to finishing this one. The reason I couldn't finish it was because I'd left it too long basically in between books 2 and 3. And I got to this one and I'd forgotten some of the details, I'd forgotten some of the character names, and I just found it really confusing. So I ended up putting it down in the end, I think after about 100 pages or something like that. So I'm looking forward to finally getting around to that again this year. Question number 2 is, what book have you yet to read because you just haven't had the time? And I'm going to go with The Luminaries by Eleanor Catton. I've had this on my shelf for a couple of years now, and this says it won the Man Booker Prize in 2013, so it's been quite a while since this was published. But it's a massive book, as you can see. It is, let's just double check, it's about 800 pages. So yeah, I just haven't had the time to pick that up because it's obviously something that you've got to spend a lot of time and invest a lot of time in. But I am really interested in the story. It's set in 1866 in New Zealand around the kind of goldfield, gold rush era, and it's about a mystery, so it does look like it's going to be good, and it's got some really good quotes on the front, you know, a dazzling feat of a novel and things like that. It's just, yeah, I haven't had the time to pick it up yet. Question number 3 is, what book have you yet to read because it's a sequel? And for that one I'm going to go with Empire of Storms by Sarah J Maas. Pre-ordered this, so I got it right when it came out, and I have read all 4 of the other books in the series up until now, just haven't got around to picking this one up. And that's partly because I've been told that you should read The Assassin's Blade before you get around to this one. These are the novellas. And so I've told myself that I've got to pick this up before I pick this one up, so I haven't really got around to doing that yet. But I'm really looking forward to picking it up. I love the Throne of Glass series, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it continues on. Question number 4 is, what book have you yet to read because it's brand new? And for this I'm going to go with The Chemist by Stephanie Meyer. Again, I pre-ordered this when it came out, I think at the end of last year, and I was intrigued because Twilight was a series that I read you know, about 10 years ago now, and really enjoyed, despite, you know, its problems and things. At the time didn't really think too much of that. Stephanie Meyer hasn't brought out a book for a while. She brought out the Edward retelling, which I can't remember the name of, as like an anniversary edition, but then this is sort of a brand new kind of foray for her. It's a thriller, and it says on the back, she wasn't going to let them win. There was no way she would give them such an easy resolution to their problem. They would probably get her in the end, but they were going to have to work for it, damn them, and they would bleed for it too. So I'm really interested in picking it up, just because it's, yeah, relatively new. There's a bit of glare on this book as well, so I just haven't had the opportunity yet. Question number 5 is, what book have you yet to read because you read a book by the same author and you didn't enjoy it? And that is The Bone Clocks by David Mitchell. I read Cloud Atlas a couple of years ago now, and I hated it. It put me into a book slump. It took me ages to get through. I didn't see the point of it. I just didn't get it at all, and I got to the end. I should have really DNF'd it, but I struggled through it, and I got to the end of it and I just thought it was completely pointless. I just didn't get it at all. So this one came out, I think, you know, 18 months, 2 years ago now, and I've had it on my shelf for a while. I don't even think it's on my Goodreads TBR. My husband's read it. I think he was the one that picked it up in the first place. But yeah, I have no inclination whatsoever, really. Question number 6 is, what book have you yet to read because you're just not in the mood for it? And for that one I'm going to go with Spectacles by Sue Perkins. I got this for Christmas, not last year but the year before. My husband bought me a pile of books and this was one of them. And I was really looking forward to reading it because, you know, Sue Perkins, she's hilarious. I love her on the Great British Bake Off. and so I thought this would be a good one for that reason. But every time I think about picking it up, I just think, yeah, no, I don't know whether I'm in the mood for it at the moment. So I'm yet to read it. It's a bit of a shame, really. But I suppose I'll give it a go eventually. Question number 7 is, what book have you yet to read because it's humongous? For this one, this is the biggest book I have on my shelf. It's A Suitable Boy by Vikram Seth. And you can see it's utterly, outrageously big. And I think it's something like, 1,450 pages or something along those lines. I mean, it's just massive. I haven't heard that many people talk about it on BookTube, but I've heard a couple of people say that it's actually really good, and it's part of the BBC's Big Reads, the top 100, so that's kind of interesting. So yeah, it's just so big. I mean, yeah, that's a time investment, that one is. Question number 8 is, what book have you yet to read because it was a cover buy and it turned out to have poor reviews? I'm going to cheat a little bit with this one. This wasn't a cover buy, but I pre-ordered it, and you'll see why for obvious reasons. This is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by Jack Thorne. I pre-ordered it for obvious reasons. It was the newest Harry Potter book in quite some time, and I just had to have it as part of my collection. And then I've heard lots and lots of really bad reviews for this. So some people enjoyed it. So I'm really disinclined to pick it up. I'm desperate to get tickets to go and see the play in London, but every time they have a sale and I go on, I just don't manage to get them in time. But I think it'd probably be better for me to go and see the play and then read this, whenever that's going to be. I think maybe it translates better on stage than it does as a play in book form. Yeah. Question number 9 is, what's the most intimidating book on your TBR pile? And that is Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. It's not the longest book I have. This one's about 1,200 pages, but it's still pretty long. It's intimidating to me though, because not only is it really long, but it's also classic, and it's also a translated classic as well. I picked this one up originally because I've been to see the musical and I absolutely love the musical, and I've seen the film and the film is absolutely brilliant as well. And so I just really like the story, so I picked up a copy of the novel. But I'm put off by it because, the reasons I stated, but also because it's quite a morose, sort of sad story, and I think it might be a bit disheartening to read, and so therefore it would take me a bit longer to get through it for that reason as well. But I am intrigued. I've never read anything by Victor Hugo before, so maybe it'll be one of the classics that I pick up this year, maybe. And finally, question number 10 is, who do you tag to do this video? Because I'm still relatively, I am a new booktuber. I haven't made that many friends on BookTube yet, but I'm going to tag Krista from Books and Jams, because she and I have been having a little bit of a conversation in the comments of her videos and my videos, and that's been really nice. So I don't know whether she's done this video or not, but if you haven't, Krista, then I tag you, and then anybody else who wants to do this video, I tag you, give it a go. So there we go, that was the intimidating TBR tag. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.